What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and let's finish up breaking down week number 4. I'm going to be giving you my picks and predictions, and before I get into that, Brandon, thank you so much for letting me know about Taylor. Sometimes I miss some of the stuff with these guys when they get released, when they get moved, when they get traded with some of that, so I do appreciate you letting me know. So without further ado, let's get into Sunday's games, because I think that we are going to have some fun on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Starting us off, we're going to be back in the Dome for the first time this season. It's crazy. We've had 3 weeks and not a game there in St. Louis, and they are all ready to go. Yes, they have opened up the 400 seats. Yes, right now they're at a maximum of, 36,000 people. Hopefully they can hit that mark. It'd be kind of awesome if they got over it. It just though goes to show you that there are people that are wanting this product and are willing to go out there and to see it. So there are more people like you and like me out there. Now, this game is going to be on ESPN2 and obviously ESPN Plus. We have the Arlington Renegades coming into town to face the hometown favorites, the hometown hero BattleHawks. Now, the BattleHawks are giving up 4 points to the Renegades in this one, and the over-under is 36.5 points. Looking at this Renegades team, giving you my keys to victory, or at least the best opportunity that they have, and they really need to get something going on offense. This is a really dismal offense right now. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot going on. You've got, I think, Slaughter brought in a nice... He did a decent job for them last week. Now, I don't think that it was a great, showing, but he didn't throw any picks. And, he had a high completion percentage, so that was good. Sal Calanella got rolling again, which was good. And you've got a couple other guys that are getting some catches here and there, but really they need some guys to step up. Guys like you've got Smallwood out there. Hold on, let me pull it up. We got Vaughn's. They need to find another guy there, and I think if they can spring another guy there, that really is going to help the running game and getting this running game going. This kind of brings me to my second point, and they need to get something going on offense, and they need a star. Somebody needs to develop into a star for them. And, Sal Calanella is a great option at tight end. He is a matchup nightmare, but he's not their star. They need a guy that they can give the ball to that is just going to be a game changer, like a Pearson, like a Gordon, like somebody like a Borgie, somebody like that they need, or Slaughter needs to, pick it up. But a lot of that is going to translate into opening up that playbook and really kind of, stretching that field with it. But they need to figure out something on offense to get this dismal offense up in running. And with this BattleHawks defense, it's a decent defense. It's not really a great defense, and it's not a terrible defense to where I think that they could probably do some things against this BattleHawk defense. Now, looking at kind of the thing on defense, and the thing that's going to keep this team going, so to say, is that they need to start continuing to start. They've been doing it. They've been getting takeaways, whether it be on special teams, whether it be on defense. It seems like they're finding ways to get the ball back, to get turnovers, and they have been capitalizing on them. That's why they have their 2-1 record, and they're going to need to continue to do that with this BattleHawks team. I think that they need to take every opportunity that they're going to get, because I just don't see that guy stepping up for them. Really, I think the guy that, Vaughn's could be that guy. Smallwood, those are the guys that I'm looking to. It'll be interesting to see if somebody else can spark that for them. But that's kind of where I see this team kind of looking this week. And then also too, now let's turn it over to look at St. Louis and what do the BattleHawks need to do in this matchup. They need to run the ball more. Hill is a great option for them, and he needs to be thankful that he wasn't suspended like the others who were part of that fight, and that he was only fined for being in the fight. And I think that part of the reason why he got fined is because I think that he's so integral into this St. Louis team that they didn't want to put him at a disadvantage for their next game going forward. But that's just my thoughts. Who knows? I'm sure they have some explanation for that outside of it being a production type of an issue with it. But they need to run the ball more. They've actually had done a fairly decent job running the ball. They just haven't ran it that much. And granted, I get it. Part of it has to do with the fact that they're playing from behind. It seems like they're always playing from behind and playing catch up. And their 2 wins that they have on the season have been come from behind victories. Last drive of the game victories. And so this is a team that needs to come out firing early. They need to, they've shown their ability to stretch the field, to convert at the end of the game. Well, now let's translate that to the beginning of the game. Don't play so conservative from the get-go. Open up the offense, and then that should lend you to be a little bit more conservative later. So the second thing that I see is that they need to come out firing. They need to start off early and really come after this Renegades defense. I know that the Renegades defense gets a lot of takeaways, but really the BattleHawks are one of the best teams with protecting the football. So I'm not as concerned with that. And AJ McCarron is a veteran enough guy to where he's not going. Yes, he had that bad, that bad pick 6 last week. Yes, I get that, but he is a veteran guy to where I don't really see me being that worried about mistakes with him. And I think that it's going to bode well better for them in this game, because I feel like that their offense has an opportunity to take advantage, because I don't think the other offense on the other side is really going to be doing a whole lot, and unless somebody comes out of the blue and shows us something different with that. Then the third thing that they need to do is that the D needs to step up. This BattleHawks team, as I started to really look at things, they have given up a lot, and their offense, the first 2 games that they won, come back, their offense kind of came back and, so to say, kind of bailed them out, and you kind of saw them, get kind of eaten up last week with the DC Defenders, to where if they can go ahead, if they can make some stands, they can get some stops on this Renegades team and really hold this Renegades team. I don't see them really having an issue in this game. And that really brings me to kind of how I see this game. This crowd is going to be rocking. They're going to be into it the whole time. If these BattleHawks can come out from the word go and hit it, I think that this is a team that can really run away with this game and have it kind of won early and not look back. I don't expect this one to be a really high scoring game for me. If there was a game I feel like I'm like on this over kick, but this one I'm actually on an under on this one. My final score is like a 22 to 12, 24, 10, something like that. I really don't see the Renegades scoring a lot in this game. I see that this is a game that St. Louis can really capitalize on early and then kind of ride that lead out by pounding the ball, pounding the rock with the run game. I really, really like Hill in this game. I like what he brings to the table. I think he's an X factor for them out of the backfield, both running the ball and also catching the ball. And Butler is a guy that has been, on this offense that I think that they could stretch the field with him. I think he's shown star power with that. Aitman's been kind of hurt. Austin Pearl has always been, I've always liked him, and I think he's a guy that when the attention's not on him and on other guys, really, really steps up and really can shine and find those creases that they need to get plays made. So they've got tons of playmakers on this team to where they could really open this up and win big. I don't see a lot of points there in this game. So I definitely take the under, and that's kind of what I have for this first game. So now moving on to the last game of the night, the last game of week number 4. This one I think is going to be a more interesting game, not necessarily for I think that we're going to have this great slugfest of a matchup, but a lot of things going into this game. If you remember, the Vegas let go Taylor, who was their offensive coordinator. So right now it's kind of interesting. If you would have asked me a week ago, I would have had Orlando as the team kind of reeling, and now we're starting to see things unravel for this Vegas team. So as we go ahead and we're moving back to Audi Field, we're going to be at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. We're going to be in DC, Audi Field, home of the Beer Snake. This is going to be a rematch from earlier in the season. If you remember that terrible weather game that they had in Vegas, I don't think that we're going to get that in this game, to where it'll be a nice one with it. You've got the Vegas Vipers coming to town. They're going to be a 6-point underdog to the hometown DC Defenders. That's 41.5 points, which seems a bit high for me for this game and for the Vipers offense, but maybe Vegas knows something that I don't with this one, which they probably do. But the over-under is 41.5 in this game. The Vipers, like I said, they've been reeling of late. That is something that's been kind of surprising to me. Ever since they've added in Hundley, I've really liked the way that they're going with their offense. I've been kind of liking to see what's going on. I do know that they are kind of hampered with some injuries with Hundley and also with their center here. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of move things with that. But they need to really trust in Hundley, and I think if they can tailor the offense around it and make it towards something that he can run and feel comfortable in, I think that he is going to be their best bet to lead this team forward. He looks good. He looks the part, and I think they really need to lean into that. And it'd be interesting to actually know what was the differences with the offensive coordinator and the scheme of why he was let go. But I do know that Hundley was having trouble, not necessarily him, but with getting the plays so late to get things set up to run the plays. So, I don't know, and I'm not trying to necessarily completely speculate into it, but I would just like to see some of that happen. The other thing that they need to not do is, because they weren't running the ball good, forget about running the ball. I still think that they need to focus on running the ball. I think Rod Smith needs to still get some touches and get some carries, because that's going to spring open that play action, especially if Hundley's getting some runs in there as well. Some quarterback, RPO type of action. I think that'll bode really, really well for them here. And that will open up, guys like Badette, Sweeting, Bryant. I mean, all of these guys can really play, and I think that you will start to see them stand out. They already have really been standing out. It's been fun to, watch them extend the field, and I think that they can continue to do that. The thing that I want to really, with Lovett and Smith, I think that don't give up on the run game just yet. I think that they need to make some tweaks to it so that they can do a better job with it. But I think that they still need that to be successful. And the third thing is that this defense needs to get stops. I'm sorry, but if your defense records the most tackles of all the teams, that means that the other offenses are running more plays on you than what they should be running. So I think that, having a lot of tackles on a season is kind of a badge for a player, but not necessarily for a team. So, I look at that, and I look at it as a not a very good defense. And this is a defense that needs to get some stops against this Defenders team. I think that this Defenders team plays well when they're close in the game. But if they've got to come back, I think that this Defenders team could fold, and I think that could give the Vipers an opportunity here. But I think that this defense needs to come at the Defenders and make the Defenders beat them. I think that they would have a shot with that, and just really any type of a stop that they can get is a good stop to me. Whether it be, a interception, whether it be fumbles, whether it just be 3 and outs, or they stop them and get a punt. Whatever it is, they just need to stop them. And looking at the defenders, they need to keep pushing it on the offense. I really like the way that they started out last game, and I think they need to continue doing that, allowing Jordan Ta'amu to really open up the field. And I think with his also using his legs as a weapon and not necessarily a necessity has been huge for this team. And I think that they need to really lean into Ta'amu. Like I've said before, his stats really don't tell the whole story with this, and they just, he needs to get more time, and they need to dial it back for King. I'm not saying that I don't like King. I'm just saying that he gives them their best option here. And, with that also, too, the second thing is that they need to be passing more. When, I'm looking at this DC team, they have guys that are explosive and that can really that can really open some things up and do some damage. But if they're not taking the attempts in the passing game, that's not going to help. So I think that they need to translate some of those runs into passing. Ta'amu needs to throw about, at least 5 to 7 more times a game, and I would feel a lot better about this. And they need about 5 less runs a game, especially like I know that some people might not like me for saying this, but they have had some fumbling issues with the running backs. And I think that you negate some of that with just going, to the passing game. And I think that can, really open up this team. And the third thing they need to do is get after the quarterback. Right now, the O-line has, they've got guys who are not, they're dealing with injuries, and they've got a quarterback that's kind of got a little bit of an injury on the other side, to where if they can pin their ears back and get to that quarterback, they're going to create a lot of havoc for that Vipers team that's already has trouble running the ball. You take the pass game away, and they're going to have a really, really long day. This game is not going to be a close one to me. I think that the DC defenders are going to have fun. That home crowd's going to rock. They're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a fun game. They're going to get up early, and they're not going to look back. Now, however, there is this thing that this Vegas team, because they have been reeling, is going to rally around one another and kind of come in and shock people about lifting their play in this fourth game. We're starting to get mid-season, and these players are starting to get familiar with one another, to where you start adding in some guys into this mix and start, those final little pieces that they need in place to really take teams to the next level. It could quite possibly be an interesting one here, to where this one could be just kind of a dismal game where DC just runs away with it and has a great home atmosphere and another win for them at home. However, that's kind of the logic, Tyler. I'm going to be kind of the crazy Tyler here, though, and I'm going to say that DC wins 27-23, and you go with the over, and you go ahead and take those 6 points. That's crazy, Tyler. The conservative Tyler says go with the under and take DC. So whichever Tyler you want, you go ahead and you take in this one. I see it kind of both ways. I see this DC team being able to run away with it, and I see this game being a shootout as well. To be fair, I kind of hope it is a shootout. I know you DC fans aren't going to like to hear that, but it would just be kind of more of a fun experience especially on a late Sunday night. So, as always, those are my thoughts. That's what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and we'll continue the conversation on down there. All right, listen, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.